Hello, welcome, new Toastmaster. I'm Karen Baird, the current club treasurer and secretary. We are so glad that you've joined our club. Every new member brings new energy and excitement. And now that you've joined, we want to give you an orientation of what you could expect to see at a typical Toastmaster meeting and why we do things the way that we do. You may have noticed when you visited that we have a formality and a process that we follow. And we do this to form good habits of behavior for professional meeting protocol. We refer to people by their official titles and by their roles. It's a sign of recognition. They may call me Toastmaster Baird, or if I'm the Table Topics Master, they may call me Madam Table Topics Master. Or if I'm in my club capacity as the treasurer asking for dues, they may call me Madam Treasurer. So if you were talking to a board member at your company or an elected official, you should make the habit of referring to them by their official title. Vice President Smith, Commissioner Johnson. It's a sign of respect and professionalism. Another practice that we have is to hand off control of the meeting by always inviting the next person to speak. If I'm the Toastmaster of the day, which is the MC for the meeting, I will introduce each speaker. And when they're done, they'll return control to me by saying, Madam Toastmaster. And that way there's no lapse where people are wondering what's happening now or who's going to speak next. We have an agenda with assigned roles, and different people fill these roles from one meeting to the next so that everybody gets a chance. So I'd like to run through that agenda and talk about the different roles. Here, let me share. There we go. I'll share the agenda. The president or the presiding officer always opens the meeting, and we usually read the club's mission statement because we're always mindful that we're here for a purpose, to develop and to grow our skills. The word of the day is a vocabulary word. We use it to help us improve our vocabulary. It's not a word that's so uncommon that you'll never use it. We try to pick one that will enhance your vocabulary. And then throughout the meeting, we encourage members to use that word. And if they do, we recognize them with real or virtual applause. We then go into the prepared speeches portion of the meeting. The speeches are taken from our Pathways Education program. So for instance, here we see that we have two speakers. Each one is working at a different level in our education program. The first speech that any member gives is the icebreaker speech, where they speak about themselves, introduce themselves to the other members. Beyond that, we follow the education program. For instance, the second speech is to write a speech with a purpose. So we develop that skill. We don't tell you what topic to pick. You pick the topic. But when you speak, you are going for that target, learning how to speak with a purpose. Other speech projects might be using vocal variety, using facial expressions and gestures, for instance. After the prepared speeches, we go into the table topics, which is our extemporaneous or impromptu speaking. We have a table topics master. That person will ahead of time prepare questions that nobody else knows. So they spring those impromptu questions onto our members, and the members will attempt to respond within a 1 to 2 minute time frame. So this is great practice. Have you ever been in a meeting where you're asked to just speak impromptu on something? It's great practice to learn how to prepare and organize your thoughts so that you can begin to answer in a little mini speech with an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. It increases your confidence and boosts your professional image. After the speaking portion of the meeting, we go into the evaluation portion. Now, the evaluations are very, very important. Evaluations are how we learn and grow. Another club member will be your evaluator if you've given a prepared speech. The purpose is to tell you what you've done well and what it is that you could do to take your speech to the next level. So it's always a win-win situation. It's not criticism. It's always more of a coaching and helping the person to move up. And it's also for the evaluator, a practice of their effective listening skills. And the evaluator also learns how to be motivational. After the evaluators for the speakers have completed their portion, the general evaluator will introduce the other members of the evaluation team. There's a timer who will tell us if each member spoke within the amount of time that was allotted. Now, you may notice, for instance, while a prepared speaker is speaking, the timer will have a background on their Zoom. It will turn green when they've met the minimum time requirement, yellow when they're halfway between minimum and max, and red at maximum. Again, this is good training. When a speaker goes way over time, or when a speaker is allotted, say, 10 minutes to speak, but only speaks for 2, it leaves a bad impression on the audience. This speaker has either wasted their time with too much and taking opportunities away from other speakers, or they've spoken so shortly that the audience wonders, wow, were they not prepared, or what happened? We go then into the grammarian. The grammarian will do 2 functions. First, they do counters. That's where we count all the filler words that people have used. Like, so, all those filler words that can be very distracting to the audience. And most of the time, we're not even conscious that we're doing it. So the counter will point that out so that we can clean up our bad speech habits. They'll also let us know any uses of the word of the day, and if there were any exceptionally well done turns of phrase, or if there are any uses of phrases that we might want to eliminate from our speech. For instance, gonna, wanna, those informal contractions. Finally, at the end of our meeting, we always have discussion, questions and answers, comments. That's where, if there's anything that happened during the meeting that you'd like more information on, if you'd like an explanation, that's the perfect time. It's also the time when we generally ask people, what roles do you want to fill for the next meeting? So that walks you through what we basically see at any Toastmaster meeting. If you have more questions, I want to share with you our website information. Let me share that. One moment, please. There we go. Our website is at innovativeorders.toastmastersclub.org. And you see here our email, phone number, and Zoom information. So I'll leave that up for a minute. Please feel free to contact us at any time. We love to answer questions. We're always happy to help new members along. Because Toastmasters is an organization, everybody is here for the same purpose: to grow, to develop our communication skills, and to become professional. We help people just like you all the time. So if you have any questions, if there's anything that you're interested in finding out more about, please contact us. And we look forward to seeing you at our next meeting.